Was he whom she might have chosen for me? No. She had some very clear reasons, some truths that I would have liked to see that she challenged, which she chose not to. Oh well. But those are the kinds of things that drive wedges in relationships when you're so
Yeah.
sure that you're right and they're wrong. She made a
Right.
choice that I feel in retrospect drove me away. And I know there's families listening that are going to be like, I don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
Then behave differently. Challenge your
That's
thoughts.
real. We see on TikTok all the time the young people who are disowning their parents, or what are they, going no contact. Like that's a thing. That's a conversation. That is
It's a big
that is a
thing.
thing that is happening. And the Gen X parents and millennial parents on TikTok going, I don't know what I did. My kid went no contact. And then they're starting to process and try to do their own work, but it's already almost too late.
Right.
And I mean, I say that, but I believe that it's never too late,
Right.
until it's too late, like in your situation,
Right.
right? If
Well,
we're all alive and breathing and willing to
mhm.
work and reconnect, then I don't think it's too late.
And here's what I will say to the kids who are on the side of going no contact and going like what I wish I had known then is that any one of us can only operate from the perspective of our own experiences. And if we don't try to connect and try to challenge those truths and try to get curious, and here's the thing, like the as the younger generation, and I'll own, I was as judgy as anybody else to my mom because she didn't do things the way I thought she should. I was
Mhm.
as judgy toward her as she was to me. And so what I will say for anybody on the younger end of this is that when you're in that situation and you've gone non-contact, it's a different kind of grief when your parent passes. Because
Mhm.
it's not just grieving the loss of the parent, but you're grieving the loss of the hope that things will ever be different. And that's a
Yeah.
heavy load that I didn't expect.
Mm.
So again, that's a big
Yeah,
drive
that's
for me
real.
of let's get this connection going. I mean, these concepts of connection apply in any relationship. The world in which I live
Absolutely.
and that we're talking right now is parent to kid related, but kids, you've got to challenge your thinking too. Your parents aren't as dumb as you think they are. Like just gonna
Or
say.
even romantic relationships, partnerships, marriages, business partnerships, all of these things. If if you're so fixated on the other person's issues and the other person's problems, and finding yourself in that judgy place and pointing the finger, it might be time for some reflection. And that's
Absolutely.
something I've gone through in my marriage. It's something I've gone through in friendships. It is, I mean, and of
Yeah.
course with my kids.
Well, and at the end of the day, the only person that you have control over is yourself. Whether you're the
Mhm.
parent or the kid, you cannot control another individual. End of
100%.
story. However, if you, and we'll come back to this in two letters, if you choose to change the way you engage, the relationship will change. So the T
Right.
interjection is take your time. Things didn't start to go sideways overnight,
Mhm.
usually. Sometimes there can be a violation of trust that makes a massive change overnight.
Mhm. Yeah.
But oftentimes, disintegration of connection or disconnection comes one little chip in the paint at a time until all of a sudden there's this like gross hole in the wall, and you're like, how did that get there? It takes time to build it back. Even if we're,
Mhm.
if even if it was a fist through the wall, right?
Right.
You've got to spackle it and let it dry, and then spackle it and then let it dry, and then spackle it again and then let it dry. And sometimes
The
you've got to chip
primer
off more
and the
paint.
paint and then yeah.
Right. And sometimes you got to chip off more paint before you can actually spackle it and let it dry. So sometimes things get a little bit more challenging before they get better, but it
Yeah.
takes time.